Greetings to one and all. For those of you who do not know my name, I'm Dr. Hillel Mazansky. My areas of expertise being medical hypnosis and hypnotherapy, guided imagery or visualization, nutrition and exercise. I'm coming to you today from La Jolla, California, one of the finest places in the entire world, weather and lifestyle-wise. I wish to welcome firstly all those hundreds and hundreds of people who have signed up to receive my weekly health tips, be it via social media or by personal interaction when you've given me your cards. Today is going to be a different type of health tip than usual, inasmuch as the title of today's health tip is A Personal Revelation and Cancer-Fighting Foods. The personal revelation being like this. I had a passion from the age of 5 years of age to become a doctor because I wanted to emulate my late uncle, God bless him, who's passed. He was the real Marcus Welby of medicine. He was a surgeon, but he used to make house calls, etc. And when I see what he was doing for us, I said that's what I wanted to do. That passion never left me, and eventually I qualified as a physician and practiced primary health care. Namely, I was an empathetic family physician in South Africa. That's where the accent comes from. It's not English, it's not Australian, it's not New Zealand, it is South Africa. Many people mix up my accent. And then I went into practice in South Africa. And in 1977, due to the contention, I had a wife and 2 small children, and we left and we came to the United States, and I landed up in Cleveland, Ohio. I was hired from Cleveland to come and practice there family medicine. Never ever in my life have I chased money, because money always followed me. Money, my friends, is the root of all evil. When you have it too much, it's no good, and when you don't have it, it's also no good. So I never chased money, and I was extremely successful because I treated patients with extreme empathy, and I was available to them. As a result thereof, my practice grew and grew. Eventually, I opened a second office to serve the less fortunate amongst us. And eventually, in 1994, I too suffered severe stress because I just could not cope with the amount of work that I had on my shoulders. It affected me, it affected my family, etc. I then, in 1994, moved to San Diego, and La Jolla is a suburb of San Diego, and that was in 1994, and then I began studying everything that I know about medical hypnosis, guided imagery, nutrition and exercise. Well, the question is often asked of me, why did you choose that to start a second life as a practice as a physician? There are 2 reasons. First of all, after practicing for about 10 years, I realized one thing, that all my patients who were senior age, octogenarians, nonagenarians, they had one thing in common. They were happy people. They were extremely lean or thin. They were on no medication. They had a normal blood pressure, normal blood sugar, normal cholesterol levels, and they used to come to me for their annual physicals. The main thing being is they were happy. They even used to they were 90 years of age, and they oftentimes used to make dates with my young nurses when they came there. So that speaks to it. Therefore, I realized everything comes from the mind. My second mantra being the mind causes all one's physical and psychological ailments. If the mind in fact causes it, which it does, green tea, and I'll tell you about green tea later, If the mind causes it, the mind in fact helps treat or heal it using the 4 modalities that I embody in my practice, namely medical hypnosis, guided imagery or visualization, nutrition, and exercise. And then I said, if that is the way to practice medicine, then I'm going to do it. Because I'm a holistic physician, I don't prescribe toxic medications full of side effects that are often withdrawn. They're sanctioned by the FDA and are often withdrawn because of the toxic side effects. I realized that one can heal and treat themselves through the use of hypnosis. I studied and studied and studied about everything, and that was 1994, and I began my practice as Gianinc, GIANINC.com. You can see my website, my first website. I started practicing in 2011. And thank God I've practiced well, and again, I never chase money. Money has followed me. That's the one reason why I practice what I do. But more enlightening is that in 1985, I was smitten with metastatic testicular cancer. The same as Lance Armstrong, except it didn't go to my brain. Well, then I was treated, like always, with chemotherapy. I didn't have a radiation therapy, but chemotherapy, and multiple doctors were coming and going and doing things I knew not what, because I was vomiting and retching and was so nauseous. My doctor then sent me to a hypnotherapist, and I said, what is that? I denigrated like most physicians do today. What is that? That's all, that alternative medicine. I don't believe in that. He said, Hillel, you go, you're going to see how wonderful it is. So I went to Claire Johnson, was her name. She was a British trained hypnotherapist, and I'll never ever forget her because she did save my life. She taught me how, and by listening to tapes. In those days we used tapes. We didn't have the fancy cell phones, etc., like we did today. I listened to the tape every time they gave me those severe toxic chemotherapy drugs. And while I listened to the hypnosis session, the nausea and vomiting cleared completely, and I just had a slight discomfort. Before that, they had to give me IVs because I became dehydrated. Well, now I was convinced. But wait, folks, it gets better. I had to undergo radical 12-hour surgery, and Claire told me that, Hillel, I will be able to show you how you can control your bleeding in surgery. I said, no, I laughed. That is impossible. How can you do that, Claire? Impossible. She said to me, listen, Hillel, let me explain to you. The subconscious mind is far stronger than the conscious mind. And although you're under anesthesia, I will show you how to control your blood loss. Because you are going to lose a lot of blood, because it was major surgery. The surgery took 12 hours. I was now more of a believer because she helped me so much in preventing the nausea and vomiting that I went along with her. Well, she hypnotized me in a way that I was able to control the blood loss. The day of the surgery, I went to a person who was out of town because he was world famous, and all he did for 25 years was testicular cancer. He came in and told me that it would take about 12 hours and I would lose 10 to 12 pints of blood. I was extremely apprehensive because those were the days, folks, when there was no HIV testing. Anyway, I had no alternative and I went along with the deal. Once I recuperated and recovered and was sent from the surgical ICU to a regular ward, he told me that he had never seen this in his entire life of doing surgery, that I only used 3 units of blood. He said he'd never seen that. My reply to him was, Doctor, I thank you so much for doing it, but if I had to tell you why I lost only 3 units of blood, you will laugh at me. Thank you very much. So those 2 experiences, plus the experience that I suffered childhood obesity and was obese all my life. So my passion is childhood obesity, and I volunteer all my services to try and eradicate childhood obesity in this country. As I say, childhood obesity is a volcano about to erupt. And because I suffered obesity and yo-yo diet all the time, there is a lap band surgery that you do. For those folks who you don't know, it's bariatric surgery where they implant a plastic device on the top of the stomach, so the stomach is small and you don't eat a lot. Well, I have done this through hypnosis, having practiced surgery in South Africa because I was a true general practitioner. I did a lot of surgery, not lap band surgery, of course, that wasn't even known in those days, but a lot of gynecological surgery, delivered a lot of babies, etc., etc. I did the virtual lap band hypnosis, and in the hypnosis there's also nutrition and exercise included. I hypnotized myself because what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and recently I've lost 30 pounds on a nutritional program and lap band surgery. And because I know that from the mind comes everything, but also obesity, folks, is at the root cause for type 2 diabetes, cancer, heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, etc. It goes on and on. So therefore my passion is to help treat people with obesity through virtual lap band hypnosis, etc. As I said, I volunteer all my services toward childhood obesity. At the root cause of all our physical and definitely psychological ailments is stress. Whether you believe it or not, the psychiatrists and psychologists know that. But most folks will not believe that stress can cause cancer. It can. Chronic stress, I see mainly obesity, stress, and cancer in my office. You might say to me, well, it's also genetic. Cancer is genetic. My father had prostate cancer and I've got, yeah. I've heard those stories umpteen times. But there's a study called epigenetics, which means when a gene is turned on or activated or turned off, you don't get the disease. So what turns what activates the disease, the gene in cancer and other illnesses? It is stress. I have seen 2 cases of breast cancer in twins. They were not identical or homogeneous. They were unidentical twins, but both of them inherited the BRCA gene, the BRCA1 gene for cancer. Why did the one twin get it and the other didn't? Because the one twin that got the breast cancer had chronic stress, guilt, and she suffered severe trauma in her childhood when she was sexually abused, and that is rampant in my cases that I have seen, especially in childhood obesity and others. So you see, folks, here I'm offering you a different way to heal and treat yourself. On my website, drmedicalhypnosis.com, I'm not telling you that there are 25 different videos so that you can become empowered to heal and treat yourself. If you wish to purchase it, fine. If you don't, it's also okay. But what I do request that you do is go into my blog section, because in the blogs, there is a whole lot of good medical advice and health advice. And if you follow that, my second mantra being, you will live a longer, happier, healthier life. That is free medicine, and I'm more than happy to do this. The reason why I send out these health tips, which circulate worldwide through the 4 corners of the earth by the powers of social media and people who meet me and hand me their cards, this health tip goes across the entire continent, with the exception of a few countries, because I email them the health tip. and I email them the health tips so that they can become empowered to help treat themselves. You might well say, well, you are selling something. That is correct. I live in America, and America is a capitalistic society, and I have to earn some money, something. But the paltry price of $90-some for the video is nothing. Some people think, oh, it's 95 or 98, whatever it is, that's a lot of money. But they don't realize that they spend that money, dinner for two, in not an upscale restaurant, but in a regular restaurant today here in San Diego, regular dinner and maybe 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages for the couple. The bill is higher than the price of the video. The video is mobile, you download it on your website, and you've got it in perpetuity. You can hand it down to your grandchildren or whomever. People will go and spend inordinate amounts of money on clothes, dresses, or jackets, or jewelry, whatever. But things mean nothing, friends. Life means everything. The absence of disease, or as I say, it's dis-ease, because from the psychological side, you are the owner that you listen to the video. As I say, you should listen to it twice a day, and then you will become empowered to heal whatever. So this is a paltry amount. But what you don't know is that these health tips that I sent out before drmedicalhypnosis.com was born, there was my first email, gianinc.com, gianinc.com. That was my first website. And from that, in those days, I used to send out written health tips. I had nothing to sell on that website because it preceded what I'm doing today. But as an empathetic physician, I want to heal and treat as many people as possible because I want to reach out to them. Because most of the information on the websites, your doctors do not tell you about because they're too busy writing their toxic medications, spending 5 or 10 minutes, next, because with the healthcare system as it is today in the United States, they make a paltry amount of money for a consultation, so they need to churn, and that's exactly what they do. Oftentimes they tell me there's no evidence that hypnosis or guided imagery can help a patient. I tell them, you are so wrong, Dr. XYZ. There is plenty. I have read the evidence, you haven't, because you're too busy making money. And because they don't believe in mind-body medicine. That's what it is, mind-body medicine. So that, folks, is in a nutshell why I'm doing this. Then I graduated once through the media, and because I do daily YouTube video health books on my personal Facebook page, many come to it, I decided, why don't you do the hypnosis over the internet? Because I'll tell you why. When I first started, for the first month or so, no patients came to me. But after one came and then the next, and by the power of advertising, the best advertising in the world is word of mouth, they started referring patients to me. And the more and more they came, and they, even with extreme humility, I say this, they flew in to consult with me, because with the same extreme humility, I will tell you that I am the only physician in the United States who embodies medical hypnosis, guided imagery, nutrition, and exercise as their speciality or area of expertise. And I put out a public challenge. If anybody can find such an MD that does that, I donate $10,000 to your favorite charity. But if you can, folks, then you will email my health tips and my website to all your loved ones and your friends so that they can become empowered to help heal themselves. Enough of the personal revelation. When my book is published early next year, I hope, You will be able to read far more about myself, far more about hypnosis, guided imagery, nutrition, and exercise. It's a book that's not written for the professional. It's written for people like yourselves, ordinary people, to know how you can enhance your life, how you can prevent disease, and how you can become empowered to help heal or treat yourself. Stay tuned, I'll let you know once it's published. Well, enough for the revelation. Now we'll come to fruits and vegetables that can help prevent cancer. When you buy fruit and vegetables, try, where possible, to buy organic, because you want to reduce the toxic load on your body. Especially here in America, we have so many toxins that invade our systems and our bodies, from the air to what we eat, etc. If for financial reasons you cannot afford to do that, then eat non-organic. But organic is a couple of dollars extra, and you receive a far greater health benefits from eating organic food. So let's begin. The fruits and vegetables that can help prevent cancer of all types, and once cancer has appeared, has reared its ugly head, will help you treat your cancer. Before I begin, a basic rule in buying fruits and vegetables is that you buy the deeply colored fruits and vegetables, because in those deeply colored, deeply pigmented vegetables and fruits have higher contents of antioxidants, phytochemicals, sulforaphanes, and the list goes on and on. I'm not going to bore you with it, but put it in the class of antioxidant, because it is the antioxidant that fights oxidants. Oxidant is rust in your body, so you want to have as many antioxidants as possible, because the oxidants or the rust cause the disease. Deeply colored fruits and vegetables. Less is more. It is better for you to eat less of a certain type of fruit or vegetables, but a greater variety. Instead of having a full apple, have a quarter of an apple, have a quarter of a peach, have some berries. So less is more. You're eating more of a variety instead of a great amount or a lot of one only. The other thing with regard to eating fruits and vegetables, if you cannot get organic fruit or vegetables, many of the supermarkets here in San Diego, and I'm sure elsewhere, have a certain solution where you put a few drops or a teaspoonful in the water and you let it soak for a while, and that leaches the toxins. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. Treat your body when you are, treat your body when you are young. Take care of your body when you are young, and your body will take care of you when you are old. The third one being, let food be thy medicine, and medicine thy food, said Hippocrates a couple of years before I was born, 450 BC. He was a famous physician and a philosopher, and he knew then, in those days, the power of food. So why eat the toxic stuff that we have? But that's for another day. Apricots, here now are the foods. Apricots, broccoli, cauliflower, every type of berry, blackberries, blue, straw, raspberry, all of them are healthy fruits and to eat. Kale, spinach, broccoli rabe, that has all the health benefits. It's dark pigment and can help fight cancer. Carrots, peaches, there you must buy organic, please, because there's a lot of toxins. If you cannot wash them thoroughly or peel the skin, but you lose the antioxidants by peeling the skin because it is the color in the peach. Bananas can help. Garlic, yes, garlic, onions, all types of beans of every variety, they contain phytoestrogens, which help fight cancer. Drink green tea, 4 to 5 cups of green tea a day. Studies have shown that if you drink 4 to 5 cups of green tea a day, you don't get breast or prostate cancer, together with 5,000 units of D3, vitamin D3 every day, and 2 to 3 heaping tablespoons of ground organic flax seeds. Males don't get prostate cancer. Females don't get breast cancer. Don't let your physician say it's toxic. They know not about vitamin D. I do. What is toxic is the medication that they prescribe. I've used it as high as 10 and 15,000 milligrams for patients who suffer cancer. I'm not recommending that. That comes from your physician. And they don't feel any side effects. So garlic, onions, kale, all that is healthy. Green tea is healthy. Drinking 1 cup of coffee is healthy, or 2 cups, caffeinated or decaffeinated. It is loaded with antioxidants. Study in Sweden showed that females who drink 1 cup of coffee reduce their stroke risk by 23%. 23%. One further word of advice: when you eat any of the fruits, make sure that you eat protein first. In so doing, you will prevent the sugar rise which you get from eating the fruit by itself. And if you get a sugar rise, that sometimes can lead to fat deposition, which can lead to obesity and all its complications. Always have protein. If you don't want to eat something that contains protein, then just take some ultra whey or whey protein powder or rice protein, whatever, a little bit. A lot you don't need, and that will prevent the sugar rise from the your blood sugar from rising, and you will be fine. Now, here is another announcement. I realized that for those people who purchase my videos online, they purchase it, but then they left high and dry. How do they ask me questions? Obviously, you're going to have questions. So I've now instituted a complimentary, yes, folks, complimentary 15-minute consultations with me once a week, telephonically, or for those who purchase overseas via Skype. You have those 15 minutes indefinitely. There's no time restraint. You decide when the consultations stop once you healed and you're feeling better. I do not tell you that it's time that you stop, I can't see you anymore. That is an added benefit. And why do I do it? As I said, because I'm an empathetic physician. When people see me in the office here, I only see them once, because one time is all that's necessary. If I cannot get out of them in 90 minutes, what's causing their issues and how to help treat them with hypnosis, etc., they don't have to see me again. I insist that they bring a recording device to the office, and they record the interview, and then they listen to it twice a day. Well, for those of you who cannot come to my office, you have it on my website, and then you listen to it. It's a mobile site. You download it onto your handheld device, whether it's a cell phone or an iPad, whatever, and you lie down and you listen to the hypnosis session. You get 15 minutes complimentary consultations each week, ongoing. If you can find another physician in the country that does that, folks, I double it to $10,000. to 20,000. From 10 to 20, if you can find another physician who allows his patients and talks to them over the telephone for 15 minutes every week and does not charge them, I double my pledge to $20,000 to your favorite charity. But then on the other hand, if you can't, which you won't, then you send out my website to all your friends. You email my health tips to all your loved ones and your friends so that they can become empowered. Not to purchase my emails, to go on to, not to purchase my videos, but to go onto my blogs and read all the blogs of the free medical advice that you get on the blogs. Send out this YouTube video, if you so desire, to all, because they will become empowered to help heal themselves. I thank you so much for listening to me now, and as always, weekly. It means a lot to me, because you folks might gain a lot of information, but I gain pleasure in what I do, because I know at the back of the mind, if you embrace what I say into your daily lives, you will live a longer, happier, healthier life. My name is Dr. Mazansky, and I thank you for listening to this health tip.